Alright guys, sorry for the messy look. Um, so I need to turn the TV down. So I'm going to do an update. The last time we talked, I don't remember how far along I was. I couldn't hear the video at all. So I apologize for that. So about 34, 35 weeks, I went in just for a regular appointment, and they told me, and my stomach wasn't growing. Like I was measuring small. Um, and I was measuring 2 weeks smaller, and I hadn't measured small at all my entire pregnancy. So, she came in and did, and she's actually gonna check me, but she hadn't checked me yet. So I told her it's fine. So she came in and with this purple ultrasound machine and looked at my daughter and said that she looks small. So I had to schedule, and then they put me on the NST, yeah, the non-stress testing. And so um, that was on a Thursday. So I had to make an appointment for a Monday to, or maybe it was like 36 weeks. Yeah, it was 36 weeks because that's when I started going every week and I got my group B. So that was 36 weeks. So that's why I started going every week and my last was at 34. And so that Monday, and so she asked me if I wanted to be checked, and I told her no, that's fine. So that next Monday, I had an actual ultrasound done, and I was almost home, and I got a call. Excuse me, saying my baby was measuring small, and they wanted to do another ultrasound to check more in depth. So I did that. My OB came in, and so I wasn't supposed to have an appointment. And then I had to have a non-stress test done, and then what did we do? And then so that was that. And then that next Thursday, so I had the ultrasound Monday, and then I had non-stress test Monday. And that next Thursday, I had a doctor's appointment, with just my regular OB. And she came into the appointment, put me on the non-stress test, because I would start going for non-stress tests twice a week until I had my daughter. And she did. So that was my 37-week appointment, and she came in and she checked. She came in and she's like, "Okay, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go schedule for you to be induced in 2 weeks." And I was like, "That puts me at 39 weeks." Okay. And so I asked them how many risks were being induced of having a C-section. Said it when I have a C-section. And she said, "Well, once I check you, that'll depend on it." And I was at a 3. And I went from nothing to a 3. So that was a shock. And I do dilate pretty fast. So I was like, okay. Hold on. Come here, baby. You gonna lay down still? So that was that. And, I was still doing the non-stress tests and getting checked, and I was still at between a 3 and a 4 until my delivery day, which was June 25th. So for 2 weeks, I went in twice a week for non-stress tests. So my last one was on a Monday, on the 23rd, and then I went in on the 25th at 6 a.m. And then my doctor came in about 7:38 and checked me and said I was at a good 4. She could have stretched me to a 5, but she didn't want to because she had a scheduled C-section at noon. And with me how I told her I dilate fast, she didn't want to um what she didn't want. Oh, that's right. She didn't want not to be there. And I am so tired. And careful of Sissy. And so then she texted me, and then she said we started the Pitocin, and I didn't want an epidural at all, but she told me that I needed it. I needed to get it just in case anything happened. So I said fine. So I got the epidural, and it worked really, really good on my left side. Let's just say that. My right side, not so much. But it did that with my side, too. At 1:14, she broke my water. And then she came in because she came in and they put a catheter in me, first off. And then she came in and told me that they were going to put an internal contraction monitor and an internal heart monitor inside me because her heart rate kept dropping. And she um so she checked me and she was going to call me a liar because she's like, oh, you don't dilate fast. So she checked me and her head was almost out. So she had to start pushing, and every time I pushed, her heart rate decreased really bad. And so to get her out, they used a suction thing, a little vacuum on her head, and to get her out fast. So she was born at 2:14 on June 25th, 2:14 p.m. I should say. An hour after they broke my water, and it only took me 10 minutes to push her out. I was not allowed to film her birth, and we didn't get any still shots because of having to have the vacuum used on her. So it's a completely different birth than my son. And the reason they induced me at 39 weeks is because she stopped growing at around 34 weeks. And she and they were for going under stress with me going into labor, which she did, and luckily it didn't end up in a C-section because she was already almost out, and we just had to use a vacuum. And that is why she had me get the epidural, because she kind of figured that she was going to use it. She came out weighing 5 pounds, 8.2 ounces, and 17.5 inches long. The day we came home, she weighed. We came home on the 27th, and that morning she weighed 5 pounds 3 ounces. Um, and yeah, that's about it. And I'll make a separate video. So that was kind of my labor and delivery video. It wasn't nothing exciting at all, like my son's. It was super fast. So and kind of not natural. It wasn't nothing. I had a birth plan. I didn't want the epidural. I didn't want pitocin. I didn't want any of that. I didn't want to be induced. Um, but that is what happened, and it kind of just sucks. Because it's something I didn't want, but I always, but now that I'm not having any more kids, but now it's just like if I ever had any more, which I don't plan on it, I know not to make a birth plan. So, yeah. And I'll make a separate video, guys, showing her and our 2 week update because she's 2 weeks and 1 day. Thanks, guys. Bye.